Hey, how are my quilters and chatters? And I am dressed in honor of my two homegrown little baby pumpkins. Even though this one has some interesting warts in it, but here I have a little fall setup. This was given to me by a sweet lady named Diane about 5 years ago, and I love it. I bring it out every fall, and I'll put it right here so you can see it. And my two homegrown cute little pumpkins, aren't they cute? I only got two this year, but that's okay. I got two, and all I had to do to get them was throw the rotten piece of fruit from last year out the door, and they grew. And not many things in life come that easily. So let's see who is here. Kathleen Ziegler's back. We've missed you. Hello, Kathleen Ziegler. This is so exciting. Let me see who else. Susan Smith, Teresa Jukovich, Kathleen Ziegler. I hope Susan's feeling better. Gosh, I've hoped so hard. Let's see. Linda Turner. Linda, I think that I saw your name last time, and I think I didn't notice until I was watching it later. So welcome, Linda. We're so glad to see you, sweetie. And if you'd like to join our Yahoo group, Miss Susan Smith will come right in with the email. We keep it private so that we can feel very secure and safe and tell all our little secrets. Like, I finally cleaned my house today. Oh, you should have seen what I got off my bathroom floor. I mean, it was a mess. But anyway, secrets like that, because you don't want to tell it here. But anyway, if you'd like to join our Yahoo group, we keep up the fun and chatting and the support and the sisterhood. And we welcome in anybody that loves to quilt and loves to be kind. We welcome you to our group. So what happened to... Oh, I know exactly what you mean, Kathleen. Sometimes I get in my best zone late at night, and then it's like, do I sleep or do I keep going, So I know what you mean. So this is great. Here in Michigan, it's in the 50s and 60s. Yes, here, after having 96 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday and 92 on Friday, yesterday's high was 68 degrees. My gosh. But it was funny. I was checking the weather, and I love to go to AccuWeather, and I checked the hour-to-hour forecast. And it was so funny because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was still 72 degrees out. And what happened is the temperature kept dropping lower and lower by the hour to where the low temperature was going to be like 10 or 11 in the morning. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but I'll take it. Let me tell you. In fact, did you notice anything here? After the hot temperature last week, I wanted to shave this noggin. And trust me, it would look like a bowling ball if I did. So I said, yesterday, my granddaughter and I went out for her birthday. And then on the way home, I said, I'm stopping by and I'm going to tell them, cut it off. I don't care what you do to it. Take a lot off. And they did. And I love it. It feels so good. So I should have done this weeks ago. So, Kathleen made a chicken soup. Oh, now that's nice, especially when the weather changes like this. That's a great idea because I don't know about you. It might be an old wives' tale, and that's what I am. But I think that we tend to get a little sick when the weather shifts 30 degrees, So it is Vicki Lemire's here. Hello, Vicki. So it is really good to see you. Linda, we're tickled you got to be here from the start, too. Mary Zare is here. Look at everybody. Oh, Diane 57. I tell you, I sent Diane 57 2 emails, and I sent our Susan a couple emails because I don't like it when y'all get sick. I'm like a mother hen. I worry about y'all. Diane 57, I was so worried about you. I don't know if you got your emails, but we've been very worried. In fact, when I took Charlotte, my granddaughter, out, we were talking about, I was telling her about your husband had been in the hospital and then you got the virus, and I was really worried. So it's so good to see you, Diane 57. So let's see what else. Bonnie's here. Hello, Bonnie. So, oh boy, it's, I tell you what, Maine's looking better and better. This hot weather, if this global warming continues, we're just going to have to go up the coast. Poor Maine, people there who have valued their unique distance from each other. We're going to invade them, Thank you for my cute little pumpkins. And thank you for noticing, and I'm just so tickled with them. So I had to set up this cute little vignette here. Isn't that great? So yesterday when I was out, I thought, I wish there was a stand that had a bunch of fall, because with the weather finally changing. Oh, Rick now has a cough. Oh, no. Oh, no. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, Vicky, thank goodness you've had some rain. Vicky, you have said the sweetest things in the last week or so, and it just touches me. Those things just keep me motivated, keep me excited about being on here, and I just love y'all to bits. Y'all are great. Well, tell Rick, Susan, tell Rick to take good care of himself and get better. There is a terrible virus going around. My daughter, Katie, was awfully sick, and her virus, she had the sinus infection like Susan did. And then she kept talking about her neck hurting. And so I got scared, and she went back to the doctor because they wanted to make sure it wasn't meningitis. But, oh my goodness. Yes, I see what you're talking about, Vicky. It's just that the ponytail, I felt like I was always leaving my hair in this nasty little ponytail. And how do I say this? I've got a big head, and I didn't think that ponytail was always the most glamorous look on me. So I decided to get it cut, and I think she did a really good job. I had it done at Great Clips. I'm trying to remember. Her name was Courtney. So if you live in Winston-Salem, you want a good haircut, go to Great Lips on Robin Hood Road and ask for Courtney. So there we go. I just gave her a commercial. But I walked in like almost 5 o'clock, and she was just as nice as could be. Patricia Fry is here. Mark told me I'm not supposed to say, oh, and so-and-so's here, and oh, and so-and-so's here, because then people who are new or who just come in and they might not feel like they belong. And so it can cause your numbers to go down. But I'm sorry, I get excited. I get so excited to see y'all here and to be able to share some time with you on a Sunday. So, oh, good, Vicky. I'm glad. Well, oh, thank you, Vicky. Oh, there's stuff. You know what? Somewhere around here, I need to get all of my holiday stuff in one. He's not been ill for 11 years. Aww. Oh, he's a sweetheart. I can see him just waiting on you hand and foot. Yeah, Diane. Oh, yeah, exactly. My daughter said when she would lay on her pillow, her neck hurt. So it's that virus, and it's a nasty one. Oh, thank you. I really enjoy y'all. I tend to be a loner, but I look forward to our Sundays so much, and it gives me a real boost of excitement and energy. I was thinking the other day how good you have been for me. I am getting so much more done. I'm so much more excited and alive with y'all here. I love it. Y'all are just total doll babies, and you do a lot of good for me. So if I can do anything good for you, I feel like then we're in good shape. It is fun. Nadine is here. Hi, Nadine. I've got some great pictures from Nadine. That's one thing I forgot. Oh boy, do I have some new pictures of Russell, my little Russell. It is fun. You know what it reminds me of? Our visiting. When y'all were children, did your parents used to go visiting relatives and family friends on Sundays? I used to look forward to that. So good. We're glad you're back, Miss Teresa. But we used to go visit, older people that, maybe I didn't really know, but they had meant something to my parents. And it was just so much fun. Oh, and I have a picture of Charlotte that I took of her yesterday. So, yes, you'd go to church, then, yes, exactly, Susan. That's exactly what we did. And my dad he loved being in the car and going driving. That was fun for him. So we'd go around and visit people. And as kids, and then they would give us the whole talk, okay, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, ma'am, please. And if they offer you something to eat, say, no, thank you, I'm fine. Oh, Vicky's husband takes, and you know what? I was noticing this gentleman getting his hair cut beside me yesterday, and the woman, the hair cutter. Oh, that's okay, Diane 57. I just was so happy to see you're okay, that you're still here. I just wanted you to know that I care very much about you, Diane, and I was worried about you. So that's fine. As long as you got them and knew I was thinking of you. Because last week when you still didn't show up, I thought, oh no, I'm so worried about her. And y'all know that Diane and Susan are my moderators. And so I love these gals. They're so good to me. And let me tell you, if any of you decide to act up, watch out, because Diane 57 will zoom in and get you. And Susan is our hostess with the mostest. So, yeah, I just wanted you to know I was very concerned, Diane. So, because I know, if you have a chance to be with your kids or grandkids or family or friends on a Sunday, go for it. I'm not going to be upset that you missed this. This is just supposed to be for fun. But when you don't show up a couple times, I start to get worried. So I'm drinking a little Coke. I know I'm not supposed to. I'm type 2 diabetic. But I cleaned the house today. And I'm worn out. Normally, I try not to do heavy stuff like that. I mopped the bathroom floor. I dust mopped the whole house, dusted the whole house, vacuumed. I even had to steam clean some little bloops that Gromit did a little bit of spit up. And I had to steam clean that and shake all the rugs. Luckily, I had kept the kitchen clean, so I didn't really have to do anything for that. But oh my gosh, I did all of that, and I didn't even really get up until almost 11 because I was up during the middle of the night. So I said, I need some soda. I need the caffeine. So anyway, it's okay for today. So, whoops, let me see. No, oops, hold on just a second. Okay. Hopefully I didn't change anything. I hit the wrong area. Oh, let's see what we got. That is true. That is true. Ones we love, we need to be there for. So, that's sweet, Diane 57. Oh, thank you, Miss Nikki. Thank you, girlfriend. Isn't this sweet? This is like an African print. And I think I got it off Romans. I love that catalog. I've had it for a couple of years. But, and I wore this for another reason. I forgot to show you what Bonnie sent me. I don't know how I forgot, but I'm going to show. I've got so many things to show you today. I've got at least 6 things to talk about and show you. Yes, Nadine. Remember I was telling y'all that if I get some of these gourds, buy them from the store, and then if some of them don't dry out and instead they start rotting, I throw them out into one of my flower beds. And every year I get a big vine that volunteers from the seeds that come out of the rotten gourds. This is what grew in my own front flower bed. I'm so excited. So isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? So anyway, they've got these little warty things. This one does. I'm not sure what that's about, but this one's absolutely beautiful. So I'm so excited. I was so proud that I made this little fall vignette right here. See my little, Nadine's fall decorations were so sweet that I thought, well, I'll try to do a little bit of one. So that's what I did. But there they are. So that way y'all can see my little fall vignette. So anyway, okay. I've got a bunch of things to tell you. Number one, the house is awfully quiet. I wonder why. Because, but those homemade cookies sound good, Vicki. You know what I found? If he can substitute some of the sugar with applesauce, if he can cut down on the sugar, put extra fiber, find ways, put a little bit of whole wheat or a little bit of bran, and put nuts, stuff like that. But get the fiber in, then actually they can be good for you. So, and if you put extra flavor in, you can take out some of the sugar. So, like I put raisins and coconut, as long as it's not sweetened, anything fibrous, because then it moves through quicker and it's enjoyable and you don't feel like you're just stuck eating, boring things. So, yep, there is a message held for review. Oh, it is so funny what comments get them. Coke Zero is the best of the non-caloric drinks. Coke Zero has the best flavor. There you go, Susan. You have it exactly. That's exactly, Susan. You're right. You see, I am only on metformin, and if I'd lose this rest of this weight, I probably would not be diabetic. So, yeah, either hate or she said prick with the needle. So, could be, needle, who knows? Isn't that ridiculous? So, actually, if you look at Cheetos on the package, honey, I know every in and out. Cheetos are actually low in carbohydrates. They're made with such junk, that delicious junk, but junk that it doesn't really, they're not high in carbs, believe it or not. In fact, you want me to tell you the true story? Mark works for Pepsi, and Pepsi owns Frito-Lay. That Cheetos were when they were first invented, it was a way to try to think of making pig feed. And it's made of corn, and they puffed them to try to be pig feed. But somebody put seasoning on them and said, hey, these things are pretty good. Then the scientists take over, and they make them so they're as addictive as they can be. And they are. But just check your carbs. And believe it or not, I look for, okay, what kind of naughty thing can I have? Okay, what are the carbs? So, oh gosh. Yeah, exact, Susan. I'm right there with you. I have to be very careful, especially the aspartame. Oh, that gives me a headache. But I can have migraines anyway. So, Kathleen, you're so cute. But of all the snacks, Cheetos, aren't as bad. I mean, I think like probably potato chips are a little higher, but you just have to look at those carbs. So, type 2, yeah. Type 1 is where you're born with it. Your pancreas just stops working or never works. Type 2 is where you become insulin resistant. And sadly, I'm an apple figure. When you have weight on your tummy, that's the biggest place for your pancreas to go, I can't work this glucose out when you've got the weight around the middle. So if you are donut shaped, that's where, and I was warned, my doctor warned me for 10 years and I didn't lose the weight, but I'm slowly losing it. I'll just keep going. Well, diet, let's be honest. When somebody tells you you can't do something, that's exactly what you want to do. So a life program is a lot better than a diet, because what are the first three letters in diet? Yeah, apple, donut, yep. Okay, so I've got a bunch of things to tell you. Number one, I don't know if my own, Akko's probably not here today. She plays the Wagner tuba today. Oh gosh, I hope her husband takes a video of it. I would love to see that. What a talented woman. So if Sonia is here, which I hope Sonia's here, I don't know for sure, but let's see. And so anyway, I'm not sure if Sonia's on here. Oh, there she is. Hi, Sonia, sweetheart. Guess what came out yesterday? Month 7. And the Jenny Buyer. And so now we get to take and put those stars together. I'm so excited. So I printed that out last night so I could just tell you it's month 7. I can't believe 7 months have passed since we started this. But but I have saved until we're done with today. It's like an incentive I use. I've saved her video because I feel like that's my special time with my Jenny Buyer. But when we're all done with this today, my house is clean, everything, then I'm going to sit down and treat myself to my video. So I'm so excited. So, okay. Yeah, it's going to be exquisite. So anyway, I wanted to tell you the reason it's quiet around here today. Mark has been gone since Tuesday afternoon. He left Tuesday afternoon to go to his beloved Topsail Island. He loves that place. I think the main reason is because it's not a big tourist trap. It's kind of off the beaten path. And in fact, he stays in a hotel that used to be like Army barracks or something. I don't know. But he loves it. And I've got some photos he's taken from there. And he just gets away and relaxes. And he's due back sometime this afternoon. So anyway, and it's been good for me too. Honestly, I've been able to relax. I said, I need some downtime. As I told you, I've been doing this retreat planning, and we now have 45 ladies, and which I'm thrilled. And but I just kind of needed some quiet time, so I didn't answer the phone. I was checking to see if Susan called, though. I wasn't going to ignore Miss Susan, but I had Mark, before he left, bring my big favorite recliner and put it in the living room with that new TV. I wanted to see that new TV. I got some beads made this week. Now, I had to do some regular things. I had to keep up with all the animals, my chickens and my 2 birds and my 2 dogs. And, oh gosh, I got to tell you this, with the cooler weather last night, I had some of the windows and doors open. All of a sudden, I smell this smell. And to me, it has a coffee component in the smell, but it was skunk. Evidently, there was a skunk in the backyard. The dogs were going nuts. I wouldn't let them out, but when they go nuts like that, because it's most likely a raccoon. But all of a sudden, wafting in the window was fresh skunk. So they must have scared him on the other side of the glass, and he sprayed. And I mean, hours of smelling that. That's a smell you can't confuse with anything. But I didn't let him out. I said, dogs, you can't go out until that skunk is left. Because Gromit one time got hit by a skunk, and it took a full year for it to get fully out of his fur and body. But here are some of the beads. Remember this bead bowl I showed you last week and it had some beads in it? Now it is overflowing. And I've showed y'all before that these are the inside of safety envelopes, so they printed inside so that you can't see the check that might be in there. So these are my safety envelopes. But these are other envelopes. One of the retreat ladies sent her final check in an orange envelope. Here was a pink envelope and a green one. So this bowl has just a lovely tropical feel. And then I made some barrel beads. In fact, oh shoot, I forgot I was supposed to take these to my daughter. These are blue and orange are her where she teaches her school colors. So I made, and this is all junk mail. I didn't buy any of this. It's all junk mail. So I did some bead work. And then, you remember the 3 kitties? Well, look at it now. I don't know if I overdid it, but all the white background kind of bothered me. So I used my Inktense pencils and I did a light blue sky, and then I did some of the grass. Then after I did the colorations, I did a little thread painting. See the grass? The little thread painting, and then I quilted it. So see the sky? I quilted the sky. Then I outline quilted the kitties. And I quilted this background. Since it was so close to their heads, I wanted the kitties to pop out more, so I quilted the background with just some zigzags. Then quilted the grass, outline quilted the kitties, and then did the grass with flowers. So, and then last night I started binding it, and I'm halfway, a little more than, halfway through binding it. But this now is the little kitty. But in this, I did this with batiks, and it's a batik done with Elmer's glue, the gel type. So I hope you like it. But I thought that I needed just a little bit of background color. So, but anyway. I hope my son and his daughter like it. What are Tums? And she's saying Tums, that's for indigestion. Okay, so I got that. Then you knew that I made this board last week, right? So what I did, and see, I just used a poster board and I cut this shape. I cut it through the back, but left the paper here and put packing tape so I could use it like a little hinge. And that way I can set this up like this. Then I took the blocks that I had a picture of and I put a roll of painter's tape on the back so I could then put them and keep them there. This is the pattern that I came up with. And it's very different from the pattern. Oh, I moved it. It's very different from the pattern that is on the package, the picture that's on the package, but I like this. And I'm going to name it Ripples. And it's ripples are an important thing in my life because ripples is not just, I love water. It's not just a pattern on water, but also a kind word you say that ripples out, that makes somebody's day, and then they do something kind for someone else, and then on and on and on. Let me see. Oh, Turan. That's so cute. I didn't realize that. Oh, that is so cute. But Ripples a kind deed, or even something bad that happens. It's like the old story of the husband kicked the wife kicked. That's a nasty story. The wife kicked the dog bit the cat, blah, 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 blah. But ripples, it's kind of paying. Let's stick with the pay it forward. But ripples are an important thing in my life. So anyway. And let me tell you something, Pat Fry. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I have been impressed with Myrtle Beach because Myrtle Beach did not turn its back on its residents like Virginia Beach did. Virginia Beach got so excited to make money that the tourists are everything. I can't say now, I haven't lived there in 40 years, but there were hardly any parking places for residents to go down to the beach in the summer. And there weren't. What I love about Myrtle Beach, it has public parking, public restrooms, public sections for you to be able to get through to the beach. Because when you went to Virginia Beach, they didn't want you anywhere near their money-making area, so they didn't have restrooms. They didn't even have a place for you to cut through to get to the beach. And so we felt very resentful. So one good thing about Myrtle Beach is they have remembered their residents. Thank goodness. But yeah, tourists can get a bit much. But I used to bring tourists home. I found it fascinating that people from all over the world would come to Virginia Beach. And so I'd meet them and bring them home. My parents were like, what are you doing? So anyway, okay. So I've talked about the quilt, my beads, and my kitty thing, and I'm going to show you soon. I'll show you Miss Bonnie's stuff. I'm going to turn around Miss Nadine's quilt and Miss Cheryl Lemon's. We do love our pink flamingos here, don't we, ladies? Okay. This is, I might have shown it to you last year, and I apologize. I should have kept record of what quilts I was showing you because now I have forgotten. I've been doing this for a year, so I've forgotten. But this is a quilt I made probably 8 years ago, and I had a good time just doing different shapes, different fabrics, just a simple little quick thing so that I could have something to put on my front door for fall. So that is today's quilt, paper piece, very simple, straightforward. So yeah, I enjoy pumpkins. I love, love, love pumpkins. And I love listening. I listen to the books on tape. The series, let me get it. Hold on. The series by Alexander McCall Smith, and it is the #1 ladies detective agency. And the stories take place in Botswana. They love pumpkins. Pumpkins are a great delicacy to them, and they eat them in all different kinds of ways. But if you ever want a really good, sweet, fun series to listen to while you quilt or read, then Alexander McCall Smith. It's written, this series is written from the viewpoint of a traditionally built, intelligent woman named Precious Ramotse, and from Botswana. And their culture is just so gentle and sweet. And I love the woman who reads it. So it's a great, great book. Series. It's a whole series. And it's funny, it's written by a white man from Scotland. But he lived in Africa for a while. So, but it's a really sweet series. All right. So now we've got Bonnie's. I've shown you the quilt. I told you last week that I wish I had another place to put this so that you could see it, but I'll bring it back later. I told you I was going to work on my Shere Khan quilt. Thank you, Susan, for that name. Oh, before we go to the Shere Khan quilt, I want to remind you that coming up very soon, in 11 days, is Pineapple Fabric Sale, Fabric by the Yard. And if you don't live in North Carolina, it's okay. Be looking at the same dates for the online sale. But they're going to have fabric by the pound, and you know that is Deb's weak point. In fact, I already told Mark. I said, I told the ladies, I'm buying fabric this time. So, is my Charlotte on here? Did she stop by? Well, I'll tell you more about Charlotte. So, okay. Well, you know, last week I had my big bag of yarn. I was hoping to get Shere Khan thread painted. I didn't, but I'm going to finish it. Half of him is done, but this is, I made this with batiks and thread painting. So anyway, because yesterday Charlotte turned 15. I'm the grandmother of a 15-year-old. And you know what else is bad? I love my haircut, and the gal was great. But without even asking, she just went and rang me up for senior citizen discount. I'm wounded. Yes, I look every bit of my 63 years, but she didn't even ask. So, anyway, so here's my background. Well, I've been busy. Do you see this? I couched this yarn to make it look like a mossy tree that this vine was growing up. Then I couched other yarns to look like branches. And I started doing some thread painting and couching here on the bamboo. And I did some branches down here. But isn't it amazing what you can do with adding yarn? I mean, it just will make it pop. So I'm excited. Yes. And so, and I noticed, I never know, I'm still going to use this, but since this has some yellow and orange in it, it's perfect to make it look like little spots of sunlight are peeking through the jungle. But this is the one that looks like moss, and I use it so often. I used it in the seashore, the beach quilt, which I had a few people take my information about it, but I haven't sold it yet. So it's okay if it doesn't sell. At least I'm thinking about it. Then one of my yarns, one was like this, which gives that, which is great. Then this yarn I found, I sometimes think this yarn is just like a monolith, but it's not. It has like this and then goes down to just brown. So it does double duty. So anyway, I'll put this back. I started to use green thread when I did the couching, but you can't get the right color easily. And so I pulled back out my Superior threads. In fact, here it is. I pulled out the Smoky Superior Threads monofilament. It's thin as a hair, ladies. I think you can see it a little, but it's thin as a hair, but strong. The best thing it does not, if you have used any of the earlier forms of monofilament, you know it was miserable. And the stuff would stretch and pop. This is wonderful. It is made of, it's polyester, it's not nylon, so it doesn't do that stretching and breaking. But I highly recommend it. Superior Threads, it's called Monopoly, and this is the smoky color for working with darker shades. They also have a clear, and YLI has a good one too. So, but it lasts forever. because it's just so hair thin and it's a nice spool of it. So where I tried to use green thread, I had to rip it out and then go back with my monopoly. So now I've got to make a bunch of leaves because I want to I don't want to do a whole body for Mr. Shere Khan. I'm willing to go in here in the background and kind of draw a hint of him behind some of these plants, but I don't want to do a whole tiger. I want to get him done, but I'm torn. This is a quilt I probably am going to want to enter in a show because I think he's so handsome and I'm so excited he came out so well. And I have plans on stuffing him like trapunto to give him depth. So I said, okay, I can't just have his head on the background because what is that? A floating head in a jungle? You know, he needs to be grounded. So I decided, since he's in a bamboo forest, I decided to make bamboo leaves. And these are 3-dimension leaves. And is Diane Wright here by chance? Because I think it was Miss Diane Wright that said, can you put wires in the leaves so you can kind of, you know, make them stand out, you know, and make shapes. And I went, yes, I could use pipe cleaners. And I'm not as strong as I used to be. They say statin drugs kind of can sap your muscle strength, but they also keep you alive. So my father had a quintuple bypass at 55. Quintuple, that's 5. So I didn't want that. I had a very good doctor that started when I was in my 30s doing prevention for me. Okay, pipe cleaners. So I'm going to take and sew this into the leaf. Like this. And I just need to sew it in. And that way, watch what I can do. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? The secret to using, oh, thank you, honey. The secret to using monofilament is don't use monofilament. Use one of the newer polyester invisible threads. And this is from the Superior Company. I might have paid $7.50 for it. Worth every penny. The whole time I was putting all those yarns on, I broke my thread maybe 3 times, and I worked on it for an hour and a half. That's not bad. But there's no special secret. You use whatever regular thread that you want in the bottom. Don't use it in the bobbin too. Just use it on top. And I just used my needle that was already in the machine, and I just went to town. And it's so funny. You'll think you've broken it because it's real hard to see in the machine. I had to just see, oh, is it couched down? I used a zigzag stitch, and there was no secret at all. That was my secret. So the new generations, if you have one of the old one that's a monofilament, get rid of it. It's, again, give it to a fisherman. But because that's where they started with the original ones, was some fishing line. But these new polyester, you can get it from YLI, you can get them from Superior Threads. They're fabulous. So otherwise, I just fished it through the thing just like I did. Didn't change my tension, didn't change my needle, and just went to town sewing. So that's the best advice I ever gave. I didn't do anything. It just worked. So anyway, so I will be putting, but like for this leaf, you know, I can have it kind of doing this. Isn't that cool? So I bought these pipe cleaners ages ago. I was going to make a spider out of them. Haven't done it yet, so they're good for this. All right. So I have made a ton of these leaves. And I plan, let me do something really quick. And if you have any other questions I haven't seen, now's a good time to let me know. But I'm going to do something really quickly. Okay. All right. What I'm going to do is, all right, let me put, I'm sorry to turn my back on you. I'll be right back. I'm going to hang this up. Okay, so I'm going to have, this is where I had planned to put the tiger head, okay? Okay, if it, like I say, if you have a good quality, there are these little things called little stockings. They're a little net that kind of can fit over it and keep it. I love the idea where someone said, just put it in a cup. And that's okay. But if it's pouring off your spool, it's probably one of the old ones. And I would say try a new one. I really would. Because, and I know we hate to throw stuff away, but if it's making you crazy, this one, you see this? This is not in any way attached. See, I haven't anchored it down. And I just, look at that. It's only hanging down just a few inches. You see the difference? And also, this is so thin that it hides itself beautifully. It really does. So first thing I would do is I give you a prescription to go to a quality quilt shop and buy a spool of that. It's the best $7.99 or whatever it is now that you can spend your money on. All right. Okay, so here is this tiger. Now, like I said, I don't want to do his whole body. I think I'll come in and kind of do a little bit of coloration, like you can peek through some of it to see him. But what I'm going to do is sew these as if some of these branches have it hanging down. I'm also going to have a branch that comes up here and maybe doesn't hang in front of his face, maybe down here. So like these are covering up where his body would be. So I even did some like this. This is a pattern fabric, but I thought, it looks a little bit like dappled sunshine. So I'll be putting some of these under here. And I have several different colors. And of course, these bright ones. So that he's kind of peeking out at you. But you see what I'm saying? And the neat thing is, I love giving my quilts three-dimensional looks. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun to have this hanging. And then this will be hanging below here. So, and I'll have some hanging around here. So like he's just peeking his head out. And I've already got the branches here. So what I'll probably do is just go like this and attach them. And since they'll have the wire in them, I can make them stand out a little more. But does that give you kind of an idea of what? So now I'm going to show you, how do I make, to do this 3D, some people just take two pieces of fabric, a front and a back, and they zigzag the edge or do a satin stitch on the edge. I have no patience for satin stitching, none at all. You're going to say, well, then what do you do? I do them inside out. Let me show you. You see what I've done? I've sewn them and turned them. In fact, this one, unfortunately, I got too close to the edge, so I'm going to have to turn this back inside out and stitch it again. See how the edge is it popped open a little? But how do you do this? Nice. Look at that tiny point. Okay, so I'm going to show you. All right. Let me get, and are there any other questions? Yeah, and it just depends. If you don't have a problem with your nylon monofilament, then don't worry. But if you do switch it to a poly monofilament. And everybody that I know that uses a lot of that stuff uses Superior, and you can go to their website even and get it. I also have had personally very good luck with the YLI. So either way, and both have websites, and it can be delivered to you. Okay, so yeah, closed seam. And then, oh, look at Nadine. How do you do it? Thank you, Nadine. She's my sweetheart. Okay, I'll show you right now. Now, I used a bigger fabric. I used a bigger piece and then drew a lot of them and all at the same time, sewed them at the same time, cut them apart, and turned them. And you're not going to believe how I do this. So I had this little piece left right here. Oh, now I know where that went. So let me get my iron hot. I take interfacing. Okay, and this is the fusible, so it's got, let me see if it'll focus. It's got lumpy, yeah, see the lumpy bumpies? The lumpy bumpies face down to the fabric, to the wrong side of the fabric. Wrong side. Then I take and iron it on. Okay, and you'll notice, oh, it just crunched up on me. Let's try this again. I just love doing stuff live. It's like asking your child to show their grandparent their latest trick, and oops, it doesn't work. This is just, okay, I'm going to have you pretend that interfacing went on because I don't know what happened. All right, so what I do, I don't know why it's not working. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to try one more time because I'm stubborn. So you just iron the interfacing on the wrong side. Aha, it's working. There are times it's good to be stubborn. Okay, so I've ironed this on the wrong side. Then I take and I put right sides together. So you see the interfacing right here on the wrong side. Then, hold on, okay. Then I'm going to take a Sharpie. Yes, a Sharpie. And I'm going to draw. And this time, I'm just using a thin piece of scrap, but I'm going to take and draw the shape of leaf that I want. Okay? And be careful not to, over here, I kind of drew too far and this Sharpie went on my ironing board, which won't hurt anything, but, you know, you might not want to draw on your ironing board. Okay. I bring it over to the machine and I make my stitch length much shorter, down to 1.8, because you're going to be cutting a smaller seam allowance. So I'm just going to sew up one side. When I get to the point, I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because when you go to use a turner, something to turn and push that point out, you don't want to break through the stitching. So I put extra stitching in there. All right. All right, so now I've sewn this. Then I'm going to take and cut it, leaving only an 1/8 inch seam allowance. Anytime you turn something very tightly, you leave a small 1/8 inch of seam allowance. And that's why I tell you to use a shorter stitch length, because anytime you have a short seam allowance, it's real easy for those seams to pop open. All right. All right, so now I've trimmed it just like this. Now this is the magic, and I learned this magic from Miss Eleanor Burns. You take a McDonald's red and yellow plastic straw and hold on to it, because they're going to go back to paper straws, because unfortunately they've been finding when these things break down, they leave little microplastics everywhere in the environment. Not a good thing. So you take this plastic straw, and I like McDonald's because it's thick. I mean, it's wide. See how big it is? You push this down into the leaf, okay? And this is the wrong side of the leaf. Then you take a little skewer. Use the square end, not the pointed end, okay? Use the square end, and right up here, you can see where the top of the straw opening is. You take and push that into the straw, okay? Push it into the straw. Keep pushing it into the straw. You don't have to push it too far in, but enough to where you can then stretch out the rest of this fabric back over the skewer, then pull it out of the straw, and there you go. You have now turned this. Now, I have a small point turner, but it doesn't go quite far down sometimes on some of these as I need it to do. But I just take the point turner, get in there, and try to turn the point. Now you see why I stitch so much across the tip of that. See? Okay. Then I take, so that's pretty close, but I want to get it perfect. And this is where I can get myself in trouble sometimes. Very carefully take this safety pin and try to lift that point out a little bit more. Be careful. This is where I tend to overdo it and pop. You can break the fabric, pop the stitching if you're not careful. So do it as much as you feel confident. Very gently. Grab a wad of it and kind of gently try to push it up, okay? Very carefully, very carefully. All right, then when I feel like I've gotten it as far as I can, then I can take this pointed edge of this. And be careful, this thing is so sharp that I've gone through the side fabric. But just carefully, just nudging. You're just being gentle. See, it started to pop out of the side of the fabric. But I'm pretty happy with this. So now I take it to the iron, but I don't want it to crease where it's sewn. So what I do is I go near each side edge, and I do this when I'm watching TV. I sew them all, and then I take them up there, cut them out, turn them, and finger press. And I just take and I smudge the seam back and forth to try to get that seam up as far as possible. Another way to do this would be to open it like this, press it this way first, then go back and press it more easily. So, there we go. And yes, Nadine, I see you're writing. You don't use the peak of the stick too early because it will poke it'll damage the fabric. So you got to be careful. But I try to finger press these to get them as close to the edge as I can. And then I'll come back down to the ironing board and now press them. So you can see it was very easy to make all of those, and a lot less time than doing satin stitching all the way around. It's just easier to turn them. And the interfacing gives it a little body, and there you go. So thank you, Miss Eleanor Burns. It's what do I need a straw for to sew? Now you know, and I will hold on to this. So, all right. Thank you for letting me do that tutorial with you. Because sometimes I feel like I can tell you, but I am a visual learner. So for me, it helps to be able to see it done. That's how I learn best. All right. Come on. Okay. Yay. All right. I love this arm Mark made for that. That is so easy. I just pull it out and turn it all around. Okay. So, all right. Oh, y'all talking about her pedal to the metal? That's what Eleanor Burns loves to say. So now I'm going to take and put this stick inside the straw and put it over here on my carousel so I'm ready to go and use it. Some things you can use hemostats. If it's not that long, you can turn it using hemostats. But those leaves are long and narrow, and I thought, how am I going to do this? And then I remembered a straw. But doesn't that straw make it easy? So let me put my tools up. I've really learned. That's one thing I want to thank y'all. I have learned since I've been doing this show. Put it up after I use it, because then I don't have the big cleanup that normally I would. So, that's a great idea. If to throw your fabric over like Eleanor Burns does, as long as you have a stage crew. But you know what? If I throw it over my shoulder, I've got to bend over and pick it up, and it's not worth it. But as long, if I had a nice stage crew, I know y'all think I'm just so professional here, but there's no stage crew. No. Okay, let's see. Nikki was raised stripping. That's cute. The thing I love most, Eleanor Burns taught us to cut it in strips and then use it, and it made life so much easier. She was the first person that I remember that wasn't constantly promoting templates, because I'm sorry, templates really slow things down. There are reasons to use them at certain times, but for everyday sewing, if I can do strip piecing, that's wonderful. So it revolutionized. I've got to give her a lot of credit. I love my Jenny Beyer, but Eleanor Burns was a pioneer. I mean, she gave so much. She forever changed the quilt landscape. And if ever you wondered about her speaking voice and how delicate and gentle she is, she was a special needs teacher. So she's got, I think, special needs kindergarten. I'm pretty sure it's special needs. So, her voice comes from years of soothing little ones and putting you at ease so you can learn. And you know what? I've taught classes. I know that the worst impediment to learning is being nervous you're going to do something wrong. And that just freezes you up. You can't create when you're nervous. So she gives you permission to play. And that's a good thing. All right. Oh, don't you love Jordan? Jordan fabrics? Exactly. She needed to find a way to raise her two sons. That's what I always loved. Lady and Sons, Paula, I've forgotten her name now, Lady and Sons from down in Charleston. Women who were on their own raising kids going, how am I going to do it? In a time where women didn't have that career. And then they make it empire. It's wonderful. So we're something else. So I'm looking back just to see. Yeah, part of Eleanor Burns throwing the fabric over your shoulders was to relax you, because women got scared because of the math and the need to be perfect. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness we turned against quilt police, because I spent the first 20 years of quilting afraid to show anybody my work because I knew I wasn't a perfectionist. And thank goodness we said, no, we're done with that. Done, done, done. So, okay, I think it is now time to look at what Miss Bonnie sent us. What do you think? We've got, okay, I'll give you two choices. No, I don't do Facebook. I don't like the idea of social media, except here I am on YouTube. But, and plus, as it is just doing email and our Yahoo site, and this, I spend far too many hours on the computer, and every hour spent on a computer is time I'm not creating. So, but sorry about that. Miss Paula Dean, thank you. Yes, I went to her restaurant, and it was fun just to walk down there and go, she's been here. But they made bag lunches, and her sons carried them to doctors' offices and everything. So I love women. In fact, I was talking to my granddaughter yesterday, and I said, yes, well-behaved women never made history. So remember that. Being bold, that's how you make history. So do you want to look at the photos I have for you this week, or see Miss Bonnie's prizes, future prizes that she sent? You tell me what you'd like to see. You tell me. And then, if you want to add a story, then you've got the Missouri Star Quilting, where the son wanted to give his mom some help with putting together a retirement. And there we go. Photos first, then Bonnie's. Okay. Whoop. Uh-oh. Nadine beat you, Susan. Miss Bonnie first. We'll do Miss Bonnie first and then the photos. That Nadine was fast on those keys all the way from Germany. So don't we love our Miss Nadine? We should have. Today is going to be Nadine Day. Isn't that great? Okay. Oh my gosh. Whew. She sent a lot of good stuff. All right. And we'll do this when I get past my retreat. We'll do our next prize thing. Because that way, too, I can try to see if I can find some goodies from, I love Miss Bonnie's notes. She's a great note writer. Now, I don't know if she wants me to put this in. Here's the first thing. It's a wonderful flamingo keychain, and I don't know if she wants me to put this in the prize or keep it for me, but y'all will have to tell me. That isn't it huge? I mean, it was 2 packages. It was a big mailer and then this heavy box. I was like, oh my gosh. So now here is a scrap bag. She sent a scrap bag. And it's just a whole myriad of scraps. Just wonderful stuff. So that's going to be great for a lucky winner. Oh, you sweetie. I do love that key ring, but then I think, I don't want to take all the best stuff. So there's a key ring. The great thing, I might have to take it. I love it. And we've got scrap bag. Then, here we go. We have another scrap bag. And I'm kind of wondering, did Miss Bonnie make these labels with her new labeler? Okay. All right. Okay, then, here we go. Another scrap bag. Oh, they're from Bird Brain Designs. That's why they have a little bird on them. Okay. And look at this. Christmas fabrics. Oh, boy, beautiful fabrics. Look at these. And I will make sure, these are great fabrics, but I'll make sure I put the fabrics in because, there's a lot of fabric in there. They're heavy. That's a lot of fabric. Okay. Then there's another cute thing. Look at this. It's a little button frame for a photo, and it's got the easel back. Isn't that so cute? So cute, cute, cute. Then look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. You know what we might want to do? We might want to have a sew-in coming up after I get done with the retreat. And we all make one of these. A scissor holder, flamingo bag. Would y'all like to do that? That is a great idea. We could all work on it live. That would be fun. That way you can ask me questions. And it's a simple one. Miss Bonnie has the prettiest cards. Look at this. You know that's going to make a button, don't you? I mean, a bead. I'm going to cut this. Look at it. She must have made this herself. I am going to use these for beads. Yes, I will. I don't throw this stuff out. I save it all. Then Miss Diana Wright contributed this, speaking of Eleanor Burns pattern, and that's a beauty. Look at it. Isn't that wonderful? So she donated that. We'll put it in the stack for you guys. So this is going to be fun. I love, I told Mark, I'm keeping them out of the landfill, but then I thought, I'm kind of creating a lot of paper here. But I do, I love my beading because it keeps me from eating. And that almost rhymes. Now, what I've got left to show you is very special. Very special. It is fabric from Africa. Real fabric from Africa. Not my pretend print, but real fabric. And I am going to keep some of this, I got to tell you. Hopefully just 2 pieces, but we'll see. But look at this. Look at this. This is woven, and they're how they weave it only allows for 6 inches. So then it is sewn together by hand. Look at this. Someone in Africa wove it, sewed it together by hand, and it looks like a scarf, doesn't it? And it is it's got the neatest feel. It's a heavy, like a linen, and it's kind of slubby. They might have done their own spinning of it because it's very variable. But isn't this beautiful? And anybody, I would like to give first preference to anyone whose heritage takes them back to Africa, because these are so special. I mean, I feel like I'm opening a box of treasures. So, but look at this. Now, my favorite color is blue. And I'm thinking, what a cool, it could make like a poncho. Because I was thinking, what could you make where you didn't have to cut it much? A little neck hole and maybe a little sewing down an edge to make a little sleeve. What do you think? Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that gorgeous? And then on the bottom, it has the little frayed. But this is one of the pieces that I looked at and went, oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's all sewn together from narrow, 6 inches at the most, woven pieces. So beautiful. And to have that metallic in it, how exciting. Then there is real batik. Look at this. Ladies, look at this. Real batik. And done with so many different designs. How fascinating. When I say real batik, I do batik, but this is where they mark it with the wax where they want it to stay white, or as white as you can get. They mark it with wax. Then they soak the whole thing in yellow, mark whatever they want to stay yellow. Then they color it green, and they mark where they want it to stay green. Then the final thing is black. And the whole piece gets crunched up so all that wax everywhere crackles. And that's where you get the distinctive look of a real batik. So this is gorgeous. And for somebody who's smaller than me, you can make a blouse out of that. Oh, Patricia, your computer must be dragging, girlfriend. I'm sorry. And here is another African fabric. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? So these are treasures. Bonnie gave us some of her treasures. And I know I can't thank her enough. So this had a label on it because it's an authentic. I think that this one was the hand stamped. I don't see the label right now, but I thought I saw a label on it earlier. Here's a label. And it says guaranteed wax primed. But, whoops, I feel another one. Okay, here it is. Guaranteed wax block prints. 100% cotton. The trademark has been registered. But, isn't this neat? So this is wax block printed. Now that is fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It's like having a piece of history. Printed by Phoenix High Target. So, beautiful. All right. This is a bright, pretty one. Oh, this is already made, gals. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. That is wonderful. So they're printed so that it's really easy to make it into a blouse. That makes sense. Here's a beautiful pink and burgundy. Pink and burgundy. So when we do our prize drawing, we'll remember how we do it is we'll give you numbers so that everybody can try. And this is Holland Wax. Now, that must be a process or company. The origin of this one is India. Must have been made for the African market. Ooh, this one's got a glazed cotton sheen. Let me see if you can see that glazed cotton look. That's really pretty. And this is a lighter, oh, yeah, this has got a soft, lighter hand. Look at all this stuff. Look at all this. And this, Excellence by CTD. So, it's interesting. They have all different kinds of names. Look, and another bright color. Isn't that beautiful? And that's got the gold metallic on it too. So I'm loving all these touches. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? I find it interesting how bright the colors are and find that sometimes in countries where there's not a lot of green grass, they love green in clothing. Go to Denmark and they have lots of bright colors because they spend so much of the year in the cold where things aren't blooming much. So you kind of, when you stop and think about it, you go, aha. Oh, these are gorgeous. Block printed. These are all block printed. That's wonderful. So you'll be getting a little piece of culture. Pardon me. Oh, this is really pretty. Let me open this up. It's got the turquoise, gold, and red. That's beautiful. Oh, if somebody, one of y'all is tiny, you could make a nice skirt out of that too. Two more fabrics. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at this. This is sweet. And, you know, I'm talking about clothes you could make with them, but you can certainly use them with quilting. All right. Here is another batik. And this is, they use what's called a chaunting, which is dipped in wax and then dipped on the fabric. And that's how they make those designs. Then you can see the blue is where they crackled it, and the blue was able, the final dye on this was blue because they put all the wax across the fabric, crumpled it up, and soaked it in indigo or blue dye, and you can see the blue showing up. So not always is the last a black. It could be blue. What do you think? Exciting? So, thank you, Miss Bonnie. And if it's okay, 2 of these might stay with me because I need to pet them. I need to pet them. But most of them are going to go to y'all because they're just, it's too exciting not to share. So that way you've seen them. Remember how we did before? We drew names and then I would call the numbers by random and let you choose. So we'll make sure I'll do the same thing. I really like the way that worked last time is where I had everything numbered. That's what we did. I chose random names. We had everything numbered. I showed you everything first, told you to write down a few of your favorites. And then that way, when we do the drawing, that will be ready. All right. It's getting that time of day, so we need to see some photos. Ready? Okay. Yeah, I was thinking, wouldn't it be great for my African series to use some of those fabrics as the border? Oh, real African fabric for real African animals. Okay, let's go see now. Oh, our Bonnie is quite the generous woman. Let me turn off my lights, okay, guys, so we can see the pictures better. I'll be right back. Let me go grab these. All right, let's see what you have sent in. Now, I forgot to go back and do my last minute check. So if you sent in, let me check really quickly, see if you've sent any emails today. But, hello. But I will check and see. Where did my little pumpkins go? I don't know. Oh, here they are. Gotta have my pumpkins. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see. Make sure we didn't. Oh, we did get a couple. Hold on, guys. So, okay, July 14th. Sorry, I know that the photos are acting up on Yahoo. I'm sorry. Yahoo is not really wanting to spend much money on keeping the system up. I think they've kind of distanced themselves a little. And that's unfortunate because I think it's the best system going. And so I don't expect much of it. I understand they probably think, hey, you know, we've been here, done this. But I love it. And there was another system one group put out, but I found it too difficult to use. So I even got out of the group because of it. But I know it's very frustrating when you're not sure you can put pictures in. And I will show any picture you can't get on site, I will show. Oh, shoot. My phone evidently is off the hook. So my daughter has to send me an email and say, Mom, phone's off the hook. Okay, phone's back on the hook. All right. So I got those from Sonia. If there's something else, sorry I'm keeping y'all wondering. Okay. Now, got another one over here. Got some more from Nadine. Yay, hold on, guys. I don't want to miss these. I should have looked before, but just hang in there with me 1 second. It's not taking me any time. I'll get them load it up so we can see all of them. Yay. Next time, I promise, next week, before I get on here, I will check the emails. Send them as early as you've got them so I can get them loaded up, and I will check. Last thing I do before I get online is have time to. Okay. All right. Nadine. Okay. Oh, these are some great pictures. Nadine keeps us posted with beautiful pictures. Thank you, Nadine. All right. I think I got that. And I think that's, oh my goodness. Got two more. I'm sorry I didn't check these, y'all. I will sure do that next time, I promise. These are great. All right. Let's see. Nadine, you did a good job with those. I call them New York Beauty Stars, those blocks. Really pretty. Did a great job on those. I try to avoid those when I can because I'm afraid of them. I know you think I'm bold, don't you? No, I'm not bold. All right. Let's see. All right, I got them. It's all done. Okay, here we go. Now, close out my email. I'm done. All right, checked everything there. All right. Oh boy, I'm showing you nice and close. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. Oh, we got a new person. Marcia, hello, sweetheart. It is so good seeing you on here. We're getting ready to show the photos sent from our group. And unfortunately, I forgot to check right before I went on air. We had some new ones that were too good to miss. All right, so here we go. Let me turn off this lamp too, so it doesn't block us. Okay, here we go. I love the photos y'all send. So please keep sending them to me because they are fabulous. All right, here we go. Now I think, yep, that was from last week, Miss Akko. Whoops, let me turn this so I can see what we got. Okay, let me go back. Miss Bonnie sent some new pictures this week. Here are her two LaFleur blocks. And you've seen this one before, but this one is her new block B that she laid out. She hasn't finished doing the hand stitching, but it just shows, it gives you a good idea of what that's going to look like. And you can see, I love blocks that give secondary design. So I'm curious, once this is all, this X block will kind of frame the circle, I think. I think that'll be beautiful. Good job, Miss Bonnie. I love your colors. There is that B block that she did finish, and I think it's lovely. And let me tilt my camera. I want to make sure you get the best picture you can get. Turn it a little more. Come on. Oh, the microphone's in the way. Okay. All right, let's check another one. This is some pottery that Miss Bonnie has. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to increase this so you can see. I love the cuts in this one, so it's like a lantern. You put a candle in it. Isn't that beautiful? All of these are very, very rustic and beautiful. And look at this teapot. How interesting is that? Makes me wonder, how does it pour? I mean, I've never seen where the pour spout goes kind of opposite of what you'd think. Beautiful pottery. Yes, if I were younger, this is some new fabric she just got to do a Halloween or a fall quilt with. I think that'll be a lot of fun. All right, so that's for Miss Bonnie. Now let's go back. Go to Diana Wright. She is working on a gorgeous quilt. Look at this thing. Isn't that beautiful? I tell you what, when I see her beautiful feathers, it always reminds me of a beautiful old-fashioned wedding cake with the icing done so beautifully. But isn't it pretty? Let me get you another one. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this. She's so talented. Very, very talented woman. We're tickled to have her in our group. We learn a lot about her, or from her, I mean, and about her, but we learn so much from her. And here's another view of this quilt that she's been working very hard to finish. Look at that quilting, ladies. Isn't that amazing? Such a talented woman. Look at that. She has earned her stripes, I think. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this. I mean, it almost sparkles. The quilting is so beautiful. I wouldn't be able to do something that beautiful for anything in the world, but I'm glad she can. Okay, let's see. All right, I told you my Mark's been on a trip. And here is a view. This is the sound side. It's a little strip of land on the North Carolina coast. And on one side is the ocean. On the other side is a sound or an inlet. In fact, I think this is part of the Intercoastal Waterway. I'm pretty positive it is. But that's where he was. And then here is a snowy white egret on the dock. And then, let me see. I might be able to show you one more thing when I'm all done. But I think this is, okay, that was it for his. And, oh, Miss Michelle sent some really cute quilts. Look at this. Isn't that precious? Miss Michelle's very talented and does very exacting work. I bet you all of her seams are absolutely matching. That's our Michelle. Okay, and look at that whale. Isn't that the cutest thing? I love it. That is so cute. Michelle, great work. That is just beautiful. All right. So now we can close this out and go back. Let's see. Miss Nadine. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a great show. Miss Nadine has had off this week, and she's made good use of her time off. She bought this new cabinet. I just absolutely love it, so that she can show her quilt books and some of her precious collectibles. Look at them. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. I'll put this down here. I love the color on that. And that horse. Oh, and here is a quilt she has been working on. Let me make it a little bigger. Isn't that beautiful? Good job. Okay. Now make it smaller again. She is becoming quite a good quilter herself. Oh, here are the beautiful things. Her treasures sitting on top of, looks like she has a bowl of stones like I do. And here are some more of her treasures. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? Sweet, sweet, sweet. I love y'all sharing this. It makes me think, ooh, I should display some of my little treasures. How could I do that? Isn't that wonderful? And I love her books. Her books are just fabulous. Look at that. Let me see. Is it bright enough? Let me bring it bigger. It looks pretty dark from the camera angle. Come on, don't be too dark. I hope you can see it. Beautiful. Okay. So now I'll shrink that back down. And here's some great books. She got a Happy Mail, and so some of her great books she got in there. And here is another piece of furniture she got. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. And I love all the things she collects. Her treasures, I would have them in my house. I mean, I adore them. I love her taste. So beautiful. And look at this cabinet with her pottery treasures. Pottery is wonderful. Yep, that was her happy. Oh, okay. These, I think we've seen these. Here we go. There are a couple more you haven't seen. This one I need to rotate right. And this is cute. I think it has one of her kitties in it. Look at her kitty. Isn't that a sweet? It's a tuxedo. We call those, Nadine, tuxedo cats. They're black and white because it looks like they have a man's tuxedo suit on. What a cute kitty. I love them. Sylvester cat. And here is a quilt she's working on for her mother. Isn't it gorgeous? Way to go, Nadine. Way to go. And here is another one of her kitty. Let me see if I can rotate this. There we go. Oh, and isn't it funny how cats have to check all that stuff out? And here is a close-up. Let me make it a little bigger. Look at this. Beautiful work, girlfriend. And she thinks she's a beginner quilter. No, I think she's very talented. Way to go. Beautiful. Okay, so that was that for hers. I don't think there's any other new ones. All right, so now go back. And Sonia, we got some of these in at the last minute. And, this is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Now, I love the double wedding ring. Beautiful work. I love how the rings puff. I just love it. Very nice. Look at her quilting. Beautiful. Oh, wow. Sonia, it's lovely. Just lovely. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, beautiful work. Oh, I love the hearts now look at that. Isn't it beautiful? Great job. Great job, Sonia. Great, great job. Way to go. Okay. Now let's go back. And if any of you just tuned in, please just know that, let me see. Okay, I think I've gotten all of these. I'm not sure why I put this on here, but, I thought this fabric was really pretty. And I think it's at Connecting Threads. Then here is my granddaughter, who just turned 15 yesterday. I was driving her home, but we had a great time. We went out to a cafe called a Gourmet Diner, and then we went to see a movie. And I said, I forgot to take any pictures of you to show the ladies. So I got her to smile, and I was taking her back home. I told her I thought she should really just, hitchhike but she didn't want to, so I had to drive her back home. We had a great day. I tell you what, her life is just, she's growing up and her life is changing and it's like, wow. Remember the class I took last month? They're offering a new class, but the timing is a little too close to retreat. But so it doesn't matter whether your points come to the exact right place or not. Isn't that cool? So I wish I could take that. Judy Lowe is teaching it, and she named her place. It's called So with a View, I think. Great place. All right, so now what I'm going to do is do the Russell. Here's Mr. Russell. Are you ready? Okay. He looks a little tired there. Isn't he sweet? I miss this baby. I miss him so much. There he is. He looks like he might be I don't think that's a smile. I think he's a little bit tired. There's his smile. What a sweetie. There's his 6-month picture. And you know what you're noticing? He's learned how to turn over and start crawling. So they might have laid him down on the floor, but he's ready to get up and go moving around and seeing what else is there. Or else he wants to get a hold of that by his mama's violin or his daddy's drum. But that's my boy. That's my boy at 6 months. Very, very happy child. I'll be seeing him in a couple of weeks, and there's his beautiful, sweet mama, talented mama holding him. I'm not sure where they were. And there he must have been at the doctor's for his appointment. Isn't that sweet? My son said he cried when he had to get like 3 immunizations, and he cried just a little, and then, okay, he was okay after that. And there he is at his maternal grandmother's house. And I'm so glad to see that they have that special area, because that means that she can keep him safe. She's got stairs going up and stairs going down. And I am so happy and lucky that when they need daycare, her mama and daddy are his daycare. And I love that. He's with family all the time. Look at that face. Isn't that sweet? And look at that. I love it. It must be time to let him get relaxed and get ready to go to sleep. That's Nikki, his mama, and that's my Russell. And there are their 2 cats. So now you see why I'm doing that. You see why I'm doing the kitty thing. Now look, this is my favorite photo. Is that baby too cute for words? I said, he could be a Disney baby. He's so cute. That's impossibly cute. And I think that he's very happy. He's like, okay, what are we doing next? So, all right, let me go back from this. I was going to show you one thing. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. But, got all the lights off, so you probably can't see. Oh, well, okay, you can see fine here, I think. Okay. All right. Hold on, guys. I might have. Oops. Let me back out. Okay. Let me check one thing really quickly. So how is everyone? He is a very... It was the easiest labor I had. You're so cute. I do think of him as mine. And the last time I went to see him, I walked in and just grabbed that little boy. I was like, I have missed you. I haven't seen you. And I don't know what I'm going to do this time. I have to remember he's not going to recognize me. He's not going to really know who I am. So I'm going to just take it slowly, get down on his level. But as soon as I can hold him and kiss him, I'm going to do that. So let me check one thing really quickly. Anybody have any questions? So, all right, let me see. There's one thing I wanted to look for, and hold on one second. hold on 1 second. Okay, I found it. So ready? I think if you can stand one more thing. All right, let's see. If you can stand seeing one more thing, hold on just a second. Whoop. Don't need two of them. Okay, this is a video that Mark shot at the beach. And I thought for some of you who don't live near the ocean, who've missed seeing it, here is our Carolina shoreline. And that's Mr. Mark. It worried me. He set up his camera, and he likes to do these, I don't know, what do you call them, esoteric? I don't know. But he kept walking towards the beach, and he didn't stop walking. And I thought, wait a minute, he's not going to just keep walking, is he? But he does finally stop, thank goodness. His grandmother used to have a saying that she was going to walk out into the water until her hat floated. And I thought, please don't let him do that. But I thought you might get a kick out of this. Look at those waves. So there he is, and he hasn't gotten home yet, but I expect him to roll in anytime. He has to stop and rest often because it's exhausting, and it's about 6 hours. So, isn't that beautiful? Well, I just thought I'd show you a little bit of that. Thank you for being so patient. But that's how he recharges his batteries. I go to quilt shows and retreats, and he goes to the beach. So it's good for him. All right. I think, do I feed him? The ocean is gorgeous, and it's hard. It's hard for me to be away from the ocean. So, yeah. Oh, Susan, you must, yeah. Any advice for the quilt collector? Buy what you love. Buy what you love. That is the best advice in the world. The quilt market is a really fluid thing. And it kind of depends. Everyone wants to buy a crazy quilt because they think they're so valuable. Well, there's one problem with that. Crazy quilts are a dime a dozen. So it's really best if you buy what you love, and then that way you're happy with it and you're not just thinking resale. Let me turn on the overhead light, and I'll be right back and talk to you some more. I noticed the camera couldn't focus without the overhead light. It wasn't focusing as sharply. But so far as buying quilts, I have a quilt that dates to 1890 and has some antique. So it actually has a little bit of Civil War fabric on it. But the condition is not good. And it was loved and used. Thank goodness. But the condition's not good. It's not worth anything. So it just doesn't go just by the date. Condition is a big item. And I wouldn't even know how to tell you what kind of quilts are going to make the biggest return in money. I love watching Antiques Roadshow. And what I've noticed is antique furniture has tanked. You can buy a piece of antique furniture that was made in the 1700s for $2,000, where before it was so valuable. But people's taste change, and that drives the market. So if you stick with only buying what makes your heart happy, that's a win right there. But condition is everything. Condition, condition, condition. Can you think of any other questions so far? That was I love getting questions. Oh my goodness, Vicky Robles. That's not true. I had I had a day and a half of labor, and finally they said the baby's not going to be born this way. And I thought, you think? And because my babies had 15-inch heads and 15-inch chests. And so, hello, they weren't going to come out the normal way. So I ended up having C-sections, and the last two were much easier. Labor's not all it's cracked up to be. So, any other, I love questions. That gets me excited. So if you have any questions, but if you find a crazy quilt you love, buy it. If it makes you happy, buy it. But usually crazy quilts, I mean, it's a shame in a way because they really use some fascinating fabrics and all kinds of hand stitching, but there's just so many out there. The thing about quilts, the more rare makes it more valuable. Well, quilts get used, or if in the case of a crazy quilt, it just gets hung on the back of a chair or on the wall. And so they've got a bunch of them. The ones that get used, then you have condition issues. So just buy what you like. There you go, Susan. Nadine, that might be the smartest thing of all. Yes, I tell people, unless you can't live your life without having a child. Fine, there's so many wonderful things to do in life. But if you love them and can't wait to have them, then jump and go for it. So, but I love my fur babies. Oh my goodness. My dogs have been so good, and they let me sleep in this morning. They didn't get me up at 5 to go to the bathroom. I was so happy with them. So the landscape with the house on it, that one is done. Is it the one on the chair back there? It's done, except I took it to show as an exhibition. I forgot that I hadn't finished the very bottom part of the binding. I was doing kind of an envelope style or knife edge where I folded each side, tucked it in, and stitched it so that there's no obvious binding. The bottom hadn't been done. So I just have to, the only thing I have to do on that is just finish a little bit of binding. Yeah, the quilt, that house quilt behind me. Yeah. So both the beach one and the house one are done and for sale. So I need to go ahead and get an Etsy thing up because I would like to. I'd like to sell some of these so I can then go buy more fabric. That would work for me. Oh my goodness, Vicky. I would say, yeah, what did you do? I did this one myself. That is so cute. Did I have one with a truck? A quilt? Are you asking me? I'm not sure. Oh. Can you quilt velvet and or luxury fabric? This is my opinion. You can quilt anything you want. Now, the only advice I would give you is if you're using two very different fabrics, the weight of them can be different. So what you do is you put fusible interfacing on the back of the lighter weight one, and that way you'll get a better piecing. But you can use any fabric you want. That's how I feel. I mean, it's like, now if you're going to wash it, you have to know, can I wash that fabric? But if it's for a wall hanging or something, then it doesn't matter. Whatever you want. Just know that with velvet, you have to pin it a lot, and carefully because you don't want the pins to mar it. But what I personally would do if I were sewing velvet with a different fabric is hand baste it and then stitch it. And hand basting can really help you out in a jam when your fabrics are very disparate, very different. hmm But nope, any fabric you want. That's what I love. My style in quilting is do what makes your heart happy, and are no rules, because I'm the happiest now because I'm an art quilter. I tried doing the traditional route and it was just hard for me. I'm not good at matching seams. I'm not good at patience. I'm not good at any of those kind of things. But what I do love is looking at a picture of a tiger and drawing it on fabric and then trying to bring him to life with color and thread. So, that's nice. But that is a great idea. So I I love quilting. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Judy. Oh, hi, Judy. I haven't seen you in a while. This necklace I bought at Jenny Byers' shop 15 years ago, made by a man who does this. This is marquetry. And so it's different types of wood that all have their own color that he then makes quilt designs out of. Now, I don't know if she carries these anymore, but I love this necklace. This top I got from Romans, and it's made to look like African mud cloth, and I love it. I really love it. I love ethnic. I'm a kumbaya person, and I love this big world. And I think that the more the merrier, and the more the better the suit. So I'm a person who believes that there is a lot to be learned from our fellow man, and that cooperation is the way to go. So globalism to me is a great thing, and it's inevitable. Change is inevitable, and it might seem scary at first, but that's how we progress. Everything that we've done. Penicillin was scary at first, but it saved so many lives. So I say, relax a little bit, enjoy, and get to learn. As there used to be an Indian saying, you'll never understand somebody until you walk a mile in their shoes. So I either call it artistic or I call it easier for me. So I can't wait. I've got all kinds of ideas in here about how to do an elephant, because I want it. Have you heard of the term encaustic, which is a way of kind of like painting on fabric with different to get a paint and wax to get a kind of real feel? I'm thinking of that for my elephant. That's all I'm going to say about that. Well, ladies, y'all are doll babies. And once again, you have lifted me up with your fun, your enthusiasm, your spirit. It comes right through this computer. And thank you for sharing part of my life and part of my day. And get everyone who's been a little bit sick, please take care of yourself. And y'all are just the best. Thank you to Susan Smith for doing such a great job of putting the heart into our time together. Diane, 57, thank goodness you were back, honey. I worried about you terribly. Nadine has one more week off, so I can't wait to see what else she does. Such a talent and a joy, a joyful, joyful spirit. And we need that. We need that in this world. Please tell Rick, Susan, tell Rick to please take good care of himself and get better, because he's precious. He's absolutely more valuable than gold. Definitely. So, and bye-bye, Miss Nikki. Marsha, I hope you'll come back. Linda, thank you for being here. It was great to see new friends, old friends. It was so great to see. Hold on, her name just went right out of my head, but I was so happy to see her. Judy Matasik, it's so good to see you. And everyone, just remember that when I finish the retreat in November, we'll do a prize drawing. We've got some precious things. Thank you. Do me a favor. Take good care of yourself. Do something special this week. You know, I love the long evenings. That's a time to renew. But then we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas and all. So use this time to take care of yourself before it gets busy. And can't find a better way than sewing, maybe making paper beads. So take good care of yourself. Take good care of you, because you can't take care of other people until you've taken care of yourself. Mary's there. It was so great seeing everybody. Take care. Bye-bye, guys. Have a great week. See you next weekend. Oh, and I've got something good to tell you about next weekend. I've got something to do on Saturday that's lots of fun, so I'll tell you all about it. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.